Ladies and gentlemen, please make just too much noise for Kendall Guiney.
Hey everybody. So I'm just going to start with a little background about me. I guess one of the most important things to mention is I am horrible at cooking. So I'm going to tell you a little story just to explain just how horrible I am. So this one time I decided that I wanted to make craft dinner, but I wanted to make it in the microwave. So I'm reading the directions and it says on the back, add 1 to 3 over 4 cups of water. So I'm like, sure, 1 to 3 or possibly 4 cups of water if 3 doesn't seem like enough. So I add about 2 cups of water and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, this bowl isn't big enough to fit more than 2 cups of water, but if I put a bigger bowl, it's not gonna fit in the microwave, what do I do? Finally give in and ask for help, and I'm informed that this means 1 3/4 of a cup of water. I'll do you one better. So I used to live at a house and we had a garden in the backyard. And this one day my mom asked me to go out and get potatoes to make for supper. So I'm like, that's easy. I go outside, I'm digging for like a decent amount of time, not finding any potatoes. So finally I go inside and I'm like, Mom, I think that we've used up all the potatoes. And she's like, Kendall, where are you digging? So I point out the window and a look of like rage and horror comes over her face. She's like, oh my God, Kendall, those are my peonies. So not only can I not cook, I can't even find the food to cook or know the difference between a flower and a vegetable. So I've tried to eat healthy, and one helpful tip that I can give you guys about trying to eat healthy is if you're ever eating an apple and it suddenly starts to feel like it's chewier than the normal apple, it probably isn't actually, you're probably accidentally eating the sticker. But if I'm gonna eat healthy, I like to make it fun. So here's something that I like to do. I like to take grapes and freeze them and then pretend like I'm a giant eating normal-sized apples. I don't know why I tell people this stuff. The one thing that I don't really understand is going to those restaurants where you're watching your food be made. Like, to me, watching your food be made is like being shown a video of your conception. Like, I don't need to know how it was made. What's important is that we're here now. Like, I don't need to know all the details, just serve me my food. But the one thing also, if I'm ever in the mood to just pig out and I go to a restaurant but I don't want to be judged, I'll just bring a mirror with me, and whenever people give me weird looks, I'm like, I'm eating for 2, so... Jeez. If I'm also going to eat unhealthy, one of my favorite go-to things is getting a hot dog from 7-Eleven. But I always feel kind of awkward because it's usually a foreign worker working at 7-Eleven, and they're always like, white or brown, when referencing the bun. And I always am like, white? Not because I don't support the brown bun's right to work in Canada, or because I think they do a less good job. It's just a personal preference. So another thing that's important to mention about me is I do not like kids. Like, I really do not like kids. And I don't think I'm ever gonna be at the age or whatever where I feel like I'm responsible enough to have a kid. Like, I'm not even totally cool with the responsibility of being the first person in line at a red light. Sometimes I'll walk to work, and if I'm walking like early in the morning, sometimes there's a group of kids waiting for their bus, and I will jaywalk just so that I don't have to walk past these kids. Like, I'm more comfortable breaking the law than coming in contact with children. I always used to think, I'm from Cold Lake, small town, and teen pregnancy is kind of rampant there. And I always used to think that I was lucky by getting out of Cold Lake without having a kid at 17. But then I see pictures of myself from my high school yearbook, and I'm like, no, that actually makes perfect sense. I work in retail, and I work at a lingerie store, and so ladies will often come in and they're like, oh, I just had a baby, so I'm trying to find like a new bra, and then I'll just be like, oh, that's interesting. It's not, I don't care. But then they'll be like, they'll just show me a picture, and the next time that somebody shows me a picture of their baby, I'm just gonna be like, ooh, are they single? As creepy as you think I am for doing that, I can guarantee you I find it creepier that unprovoked you're showing me a picture of your baby. Another thing, I don't have kids, so I don't really know what it's like to be proud of them when they do arbitrary shit. But when somebody is like, oh, my baby smiled for the first time today, I'm like, do you realize how easy it is to accidentally smile? Like, just matching your face, I'm smiling right now while you're telling me this boring ass story about your kid. Don't be proud of them. They don't even know what they're smiling at, so. Or when they take their first step, I'm just like, they're just like, oh, they took their first step today. I'm like, oh, did little Jessica just have 9 shots of tequila, black out, and take a first step? Because that is a feat. I've been there. But if your kid just took a step, I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. The other day at work, this song came on, and the lyrics to it go, "You didn't lose a daughter, you gained a son." How is this good news for anybody? Like, that is like being, oh, you didn't lose a leg, you gained a wheelchair. Somebody got my wish list. But I feel like I'm just the kind of person that I could have a baby, and I would still consider the best day of my life to be the day that they change Skittles, the green Skittles, from lime to green apple. So much better than a baby, right? But has anybody here ever heard of kids be referred to as fuck trophies before? No? Alright, let me tell you one thing from some of the shitty kids I've met. Some of them are not fuck trophies, some of them are more like fuck participation ribbons. Thanks for trying, better luck next time. But when I see a baby crying, like, I have a heart, so I do feel bad because I'm just like, oh, are they afraid about losing their job? Like, did they just get dumped? Like, are they afraid of somebody cheating on them? Are they afraid of how they're gonna make rent? I'm like, wait a minute, you can literally puke on yourself and shit your pants at the same time, and your parents just rush to change you or clean you up, whereas my parents rush to stage an intervention, which is a hell of a lot more embarrassing. But, let's see, so the other day I was at home and I was kind of bored, so I was like, I think I'm gonna prank call somebody. I haven't done that in a while, why not? So I call up somebody, random number, and I'm just like, hi, is your refrigerator running? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, your refrigerator has a much better workout routine than I do. But I started running recently. I'm doing a couple 5Ks this summer, and I was inspired to write a song, a little J-Lo remix, if you will, that goes a little something like, don't be fooled by the workout equipment that I got. I'm still winded running down the block. So I went shopping the other day, and I don't really have a lot of girlfriends to go shopping with, and shopping alone can be kind of a downer. But even more than that, could you guys imagine going shopping with a horse? You like go and try something on, and you're like, I don't really know if this looks good. What do you think? Yay or nay? Every single time, nay. I'll laugh at this one, that's fine, you guys don't have to. So I had a business idea the other day. Maybe this is genius, maybe it's not. Obviously, I'm the only one that thinks all this stuff's funny. So I had an idea that I'm gonna buy a bar, and then I'm gonna name it the Drunk Tank, so that when you tell your family and friends that you spent your night in the drunk tank, they're gonna think that you learned your lesson, but really you were just having a time. So a lot of people find people with road rage annoying to drive with. I feel the opposite. I feel like they treat me like I'm the smartest person in the world. Like, honestly, I have no idea what that guy's fucking problem is. I have no idea what's wrong with that guy's fucking signal light, but thank you so much for thinking that I possess this kind of knowledge. So I try to be a good person, and I know a lot of people have different things that like keep them in line. Some people are religious, some people expect some reward for doing good. So I know that the WWJD thing is a big thing, but I have my own, and it's WWSHD, which is what would Shakira's hips do, and then I don't lie. There's a couple sayings that I don't really agree with. One is when people are when they ask me to do something and I'm a little bit like cautious about wanting to do it, and they're like, okay, Kendall, it's so easy, a monkey could do it. Okay, I've heard tons of impressive stories of things that monkeys have done. Monkeys have heard exactly 0 stories about impressive things that I've done, so stop trying to compare us, you're just gonna be disappointed. Another thing I don't really agree with is people say home is where the heart is. I don't really agree with this because I'm living with roommates right now because I can't afford to live alone. So for me, home is not where the heart is. Home is where I watch porn with the headphones in. So I work at a mall, and the other day I was in the food court, and this guy walks past me and just gives me this really intense eye fucking. And then this old guy next to me looks over and tries to do the same thing. And I'm like, buddy, you are so old that they would have to invent a new drug just for you to be able to eye fuck somebody. We could name it Viagra. And if you stare for longer than 4 hours, consult a physician. All right, that's all I've got. Thanks, you guys.